Welcome back to TYT Sports Friday in the studio, which means we're talking hoops. Andre Snellings will be joining me in just a second. And the topic of discussion, Toronto Raptors fans rejoice because this is your clip. It is a pro Raptors clip, at least from my end. And the question that we're throwing out to everybody is, are the Raptors for real this year? Now, in the past few seasons, the Toronto Raptors have not been a second-half team. They've struggled in the playoffs, but that is all quickly being forgotten based on the play of two of their players alone, along with a deep team. Specifically, Kyle Lowry. Skinny Kyle Lowry, I must add, because he did lose weight heading into the season, is playing the best basketball we've seen him play as a Toronto Raptor. Currently 42-20, 7-3 in their last 10, and they have the second best home record in the Eastern Conference and within striking distance of the 1 seed. So all the rumors of the Cavs may be falling apart as we speak. The Raptors are surging. Andre, do you agree? Do you think this is the year the Raptors can make the Eastern Conference Finals or even pull a big upset and get to the NBA Finals?
I like how you set me up to be the bad guy.
Right.
Like, oh, it's going to be all positive from my side, at least.
Right.
I do think the Raptors. Well, it depends on how you define for real. You know, we're in presidential election season, so it depends on what your definition of is. I think the Raptors are for real in that I don't think they're going to fade in the second half. I think the team that they've been so far is who they're going to be. I think they're good enough to make the conference finals. I don't care how much Cleveland implodes. If LeBron is still healthy, I think that they will still beat the Raptors. But I do think this team can make the conference finals. But I think a lot of the teams in the East are solid, so I think the Raptors against the Celtics would be a good series, whether the Raptors, are playing their best or not. I think that would just be a good matchup. Similar with, right now they're scheduled for a first-round matchup with the Pacers. I think the Pacers are a pretty solid team. They've got some players, especially Paul George, who've been there before. So, that wouldn't be a gimme matchup. And if you saw the Hoops Lab last week, I'm pretty high on the Pistons as well. So, yes, I think the Raptors are solid. I think they're for real. I think they'll probably win their first-round matchup. Probably their second as well, though that's more of a toss-up. But I don't see them coming out the East.
So, to me, I don't see them coming out of the East either, truthfully speaking. And if they did, I think any team outside the Cavs, call me crazy, I think they get swept or a gentleman's sweep 5 games by whatever Western Conference team appears. The 4 top teams of the Western Conference are better, arguably, than the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference, so at least the power-heavy league. So I think there's 2 matchups that could be disastrous for the Raptors, and you mentioned one of them, which is the Celtics. If they were to meet them, that's not a gimme series. That's a tough series, although I think the Raptors are better in a 7-game series than the Celtics. I also think the Heat could be a disastrous matchup for the Toronto Raptors. That's a team with a lot of experience, good coaching against a team that is still young, still getting better, and in which it might not favor a team like the Raptors in that situation. But, and again, I don't think it's do or die for Toronto, though. Kyle Lowry has proven he's a competently good point guard and one of the better of the very deep point guards we have in the league. And really, I look at this, and I think success for the Raptors is getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Technically, as the 2 seed, they're supposed to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I look at it and go, if you make it to that point, it shows that you've proven you got over the hump. You can get rid of that label as you're not a playoff team because you've made it there. And also, I think it will be good looking. It might have a big effect on potentially signing DeMar DeRozan in the offseason, although we know that he's going to probably take max contract money somewhere else. Who really knows until we get to that point? Any final points on the Raptors? Any matchups you see that could be just disastrous for them? I know you mentioned the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you mentioning the Celtics, going into more detail with them. The reason they're a tough matchup for the Raptors is the Celtics' entire team is built around their defense, and their defense is built from the perimeter in. And so the Raptors, like you said, they're driven by skinny Kyle Lowry
Yeah.
and DeMar DeRozan. Well, the Celtics' best defenders are their point and shooting guard. They could throw Avery Bradley on one of them, Marcus Smart on another one, and just their whole system that they play makes it tough on opposing point guards and shooting guards. So for that reason, I think that'd be a bad matchup for the Raptors. And, just really the Eastern Conference, they're bad as in they're worse than the West, but even the 8th seed this year is going to be a solid team, and that's not always the case. So
Right.
I don't think any of their games will be a gimme, no matter who they play. I mean, any of their playoff series will be a gimme. But I think that they should be the better team unless they're playing the Cavs.
Right. I agree with you 110% on your points, but we wanted to give the Raptors some love here. They're an interesting team. They are definitely fun to watch. The last player I wanted to mention was one of my favorite named players in the NBA, and that is Bismack Biyombo and his blocking ability. He's all over the NBA top 10s. I love it. I absolutely love his heart and dedication. And who knows, maybe DeMar Carroll can channel some of his playoff performance from last season, especially on the defensive end. That could be a big, big factor. But
If he can stay on the court.
that's another major factor in general, and whatever he's doing with his hair. So, in regards to Toronto, comment section, let us know what you think. Can they get over the hump and get rid of that label of not being a playoff team? And can they win the Eastern Conference Finals? Currently going at 6-1 on Sportsbook. Make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe to the video. Check out Andre's Hoops Lab column. He gave some love to Porzingis this week. And check him out at Professor DRZ on Twitter. As for myself, at JasonRubin91. We'll see you next time.